So welcome back. The next few videos are going to sort of just involve remixing code that we've already got. The result will be the same, but it will just be a little neater, hopefully. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to distribute this code out into multiple files. In order to do that, multiple files are going to need to be able to see which modules have been imported. This is a little less, I guess it's a little less robust. It's not as robust as C++ in the sense that we can't have like per module imports so much. Not in terms of these big libraries. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of grab everything and sort of shuffle it around a little bit. So to start with, I will go, I'm going to make a file called app. We can do that now. Inside here, we're going to import everything, as always. And then I'm going to define a class. So just go ahead, grab everything here. Now I'm going to define my entry point. So if the name of the module, and if you haven't seen this before, there are multiple ways to run modules. One way is to literally execute them, and the other way is to import them. So this if statement will only be set off if the thing is actually executed. But anyway, we'll go my app is an instance of the app, and I'll go ahead and run the app. So I'll go over here and just down below paste everything. Why not? I'm going to have two methods defined. I'll have an initializer, and I'll also have a run function. So my initializer is going to have a few steps. First of all, I'm going to set up PyGame. So if I go down below and find all my PyGame setup stuff, and then the next step is I'm going to set up my data, and for the data it's basically everything. So I'll go down. It's not this model stuff, but this sort of stuff here, it is this. So we'll have the plane center and the light info. And just as I did with the clock, I'm going to save these as instance variables. And additionally, it's all the info on the camera, the plane's rotation, all of that stuff. So this stuff is going to need to be set up as NumPy arrays as well. Cool. Okay, now as for the running will pretty much be all of this main loop. So we go ahead, grab all of this, put that in there. Now just a little bit of tidying up. So you'll see that there's some like bits of functionality which are not inside the app. And these things are going to be handled by what I call systems. So other helper classes, basically. And the first one I'm going to set up is the, we'll go input system. So I'll go and make a new file. I'll call this input system. Just for fun, I'll grab all the code that I've used so far, copy that over, just down below. It's a bit of a mess, but anyway, so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and import this. So I'll go import input system, and now I'll set up my systems. And now down here, instead of doing all this stuff, I can just say, hey, update my input system. And I will give it my info, so I'll say self camera position, self camera oilers. Okay, now in the update method of input system, it will go ahead and handle the keys and handle the mouse. While I'm at it, cool. So again, the benefit of having these NumPy arrays is they're pretty much references. We can do whatever we want with them, and they will be modified in place. So that change will be mirrored everywhere. Cool. So that's all I really need for the input system. It just does the job of handling mouse and key state and updating everything else. The next thing I'm going to use is a camera system. And the camera system will pretty much be responsible for, this camera view stuff. So I'll go ahead, make a new file, call it camera system. And then I'll go ahead and import that. And then down here, where we come to do the camera view, we'll just, So just the same as before, we'll grab all of the code, bring it over to the camera system, and pretty much this function here will be the update function. Okay, that was short. Now I want to make a transform system, and the transform system will basically be, will it be applying rotation? No, that applying rotation will sort of be a normal calculation operation, but what the transform system will do is it will basically increment theta. So I'll go ahead and make a new file. And I'm not, as with everything, this is not the most elegant solution, but it's just being done for illustrative purposes. So this is assuming that we could have like a whole bunch of planes. We could spin them all around, but yeah, I mean, there we go, that's fine. So now I'll go ahead and make that system. There we go. I think that's fine. Cool. So you can see that things are getting a little neater. In the next video, we'll make it even neater. But anyway, we still need to go ahead and make our, our rendering thing. So I'll go ahead and make a new file, call it render. Go ahead and grab everything else here. So this is going to be sort of a big one. We'll have our initializer. So go ahead. We will set up OpenGL, load the texture, and then I'm also going to set up, the plane model. So this will be, the usual stuff, the usual image loading, but then this function here will be defining all of the data that we need to draw the plane. So the data which describes where the planes are is independent of the data which is used to describe what they look like. Stamping license plates. That's what it is today, but that's okay. That's life. Okay, setup OpenGL is done. Next one, load texture. And I'm just going to change this to just be a single thing, because I'm defining a plane just has one normal. There we go. Cool. So pretty much we just looked through and saved everything to the instance. No issues there. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to take a lot of these functions and sort of scope them to this instance, to this class. So for instance, reset model or reset transform, just like that. Apply rotation, and again, this is going to become a little simpler because we're not going to take anything in, and we're just going to return a single NumPy array. Yep, then we'll go ahead and, set up the draw filled function. But now we don't need to take all of this info. I think I will need to take in a normal. Okay, cool. So we're almost done. I just need to make my update function. So I can pretty much grab everything here and I can put that in the function. So again, we go ahead, we clear the screen, we calculate the normal for that plane, but again, I'm going to just pretend that we have an arbitrary number of planes. So we'll say fetch the info. Then I'll calculate the normal. Go ahead and draw. Then what I'll do is I'll reset the transformation for that plane, and then outside of that scope, I'll reset the transformation for the camera. So I know that's not super elegant, but in a pinch, it sort of gets the job done. And anyway, we'll find out in a second when we try to run this and see all the marvelous error messages that we get. But we'll go ahead, import render system, and then go ahead and construct an instance of it. And now we can go ahead and update that. Okay, fingers crossed. Let's see how this goes. So we'll go over to the main file. We'll hit run. Haha, perfect. Okay, input system mouse takes 1, but 2 were given. Okay, this is probably, yeah, not that we need it, but because I scoped it to the instance. Okay, awesome. So again, we get exactly the same as we had before, but hopefully you can see that this is more elegant in theory. All right, so in the next video, you'll see that we sort of set this up so that, yeah, we've got like nice abstractions and stuff, but we're still handling it in terms of like throwing data at systems. So in the next video, we'll have a look at a slightly more elegant way of doing this. See you then. Bye.